A maid slept on the floor next to a billionaire's sick kid. What the dad did next will blow your mind. What could make a tycoon rethink his entire life? We're diving into a story that's pure heart, packed with drama, and a twist that'll hit you right in the chest. It's about David Kessler, a billionaire who built a tech empire but missed the moments that matter most. His 5-year-old daughter, Sophie, was battling a strange illness, and their maid, Anna, did something so selfless it changed everything. When David saw Anna sleeping on the floor beside Sophie's bed, he uncovered a truth that turned his world upside down. This isn't just about a rich guy's wake-up call, it's about love, sacrifice, and the people we overlook every day. Stick around, because this story will grab your heart, make you laugh, maybe make you tear up, and definitely make you rethink what's important. Let's set the stage. David Kessler is 43, a tech genius running Kessler Innovations, a Silicon Valley giant that's changing the game in cloud computing. Forbes pegs his net worth at $15 billion in 2025, and his face is all over Wired and Bloomberg. He's got a mansion in Palo Alto, a private jet, and a beach house in Malibu. David's married to Emily, a venture capitalist who funds startups that make headlines. They've got a 5-year-old daughter, Sophie, a curly-haired bundle of energy who loves glitter and dinosaurs. From the outside, their life looks like a fairy tale, shiny, perfect, untouchable. But inside? It's a different story. David's days are a whirlwind of board meetings, investor pitches, and late-night coding sessions. He's up at 4 a.m., running on his treadmill, then jumping on calls with engineers in Bangalore or clients in New York. Emily's just as busy, scouting the next big startup or flying to London for a deal. Their Palo Alto mansion is a 10,000-square-foot dream. Glass walls, a pool that glows at night, and a home theater bigger than most apartments. But it's empty of warmth, more like a tech showroom than a home. Sophie's caught in the middle, cared for by tutors, nannies, and their live-in maid, Anna. Anna's 30, from El Salvador, and has been with the Kesslers for 4 years. She's the one who keeps the mansion running, scrubbing floors, cooking meals, making sure Sophie's dinosaur toys are lined up just right. Anna's got a smile that could light up a storm and a heart bigger than the mansion itself. To David and Emily, she's just part of the staff, someone who fades into the background. But to Sophie, Anna's everything, the one who sings her to sleep, braids her hair, and makes her laugh with silly dinosaur roars. Sophie's a bright kid, always chasing butterflies in the garden or painting glittery T-Rexes. But for the past 6 months, she's been sick, fever, aches, and a tiredness that won't quit. Doctors can't figure it out, throwing around words like virus or immune issue, but nothing sticks. David and Emily are worried, but they're also stretched thin, juggling their empire while Sophie fades. One night, David comes home late and sees something that stops him cold: Anna, curled up on the floor next to Sophie's bed, holding her hand as she sleeps. Why would the maid do that? And what's wrong with Sophie that nobody's caught? This moment shakes David to his core. He realizes he's been so busy chasing billions that he's missed something big, something wrong with his daughter. Anna saw it when nobody else did, and her quiet act of love is about to reveal a truth that changes everything. This story isn't just about a sick kid or a devoted maid, it's about a problem we all face: missing the people who matter because we're too caught up in our own grind. The challenge is clear: how do you stay connected to your family when life's pulling you apart? Let's dive into Sophie's world. She's 5, a kindergartner at a fancy Palo Alto private school where kids learn robotics alongside finger painting. Sophie's a firecracker, curly hair bouncing, always giggling, with a love for dinosaurs that borders on obsession. Her room's a jungle of T-Rex toys, Triceratops posters, and glittery drawings of dinosaurs in tutus. She's the kid who'd run through the mansion's garden, chasing butterflies or pretending to be a velociraptor, roaring at the top of her lungs. But over the past 6 months, Sophie's spark has dimmed. It started with a fever that wouldn't break, then aches that kept her up at night. She's tired all the time, napping through playdates and barely touching her favorite mac and cheese. Her weight's dropped, 5 pounds, a lot for a kid who was barely 40 pounds to start. Her cheeks are pale, her eyes heavy, and her giggles are rare. At school, she's falling behind, too tired to focus on her ABCs or join the other kids building Lego castles. Her teachers are worried, sending notes home, but David and Emily are too busy to notice the pattern. The doctors are stumped. Sophie's seen pediatricians, immunologists, and even a specialist from Stanford. They've run blood tests, X-rays, and an MRI, $75,000 worth of scans, and nothing to show for it. One doctor says it's a virus, prescribing rest. Another suggests an autoimmune issue, but the tests come back clean. A third floats, chronic fatigue, but Sophie's too young for that. A 2023 Journal of Pediatrics study says 15% of kids with chronic symptoms go undiagnosed because doctors focus on common illnesses and miss rare ones. Sophie's a puzzle, and nobody's got the pieces. David and Emily are scared, but their lives don't stop. David's company, Kessler Innovations, is launching a new cloud platform, a $2 billion project with 10,000 employees counting on him. He's on Zoom calls at midnight, tweaking code or pitching to investors. Emily's no different. She's funding a startup that's about to go public, flying to San Francisco or Seattle weekly. Their mansion is a tech marvel, smart lights, a kitchen that looks like a spaceship, but it's cold. Sophie's world is filled with schedules, not snuggles. Tutors drill her on letters, nannies make sure she's fed, but nobody's really there, except Anna. Anna's the one constant. She's there when Sophie wakes up, making her dinosaur-shaped pancakes with extra syrup. She listens to Sophie's stories about T-Rexes ruling the world, nodding like it's the most important thing she's ever heard. When Sophie's too tired to play, Anna sits with her, painting glittery dinosaurs or singing, "Twinkle, Twinkle," in Spanish. Anna notices the little things. Sophie's fevers spike at night, her hands shake when she's tired, she's always cold, even under blankets. To Sophie, Anna's not the maid, she's her best friend, the one who makes the big, empty mansion feel like home. Now, let's talk about Anna. She grew up in a small village in El Salvador, in a cinderblock house with a tin roof, surrounded by mango trees and chickens scratching in the dirt. Anna was the oldest of 6, always helping her mom cook rice and beans or teaching her siblings to read. She dreamed of being a nurse, but at 18, a gang took over her village, and her family needed money to stay safe. Anna came to the U.S. at 22, leaving her 2-year-old son, Mateo, with her mom. She promised to send money for his school and clothes, vowing to return soon. That was 8 years ago. Anna earns $34,000 a year, a fortune back home but barely enough in Palo Alto, where a one-bedroom apartment costs $2,500 a month. She sends $1,800 home monthly, covering Mateo's school, her mom's medicine, and her siblings' food. She lives in a shared apartment with 3 other maids, sleeping on a mattress in the living room to save money. Every night, she video calls Mateo, now 10, listening to his stories about soccer and his pet parrot, Pepe. Anna smiles, but her heart aches. She's missed his first goal, his first report card, his whole childhood. A 2025 Economic Policy Institute report says domestic workers like Anna earn a median of $14.50 an hour, often with no benefits or job security. Many are immigrants, facing language barriers and fear of deportation. Anna's one of them, but she's got a fire inside her. Her job at the Kesslers is grueling. She's up at 5 a.m., cleaning a mansion that could fit her village's school. She dusts $20,000 chandeliers, scrubs granite counters, and cooks meals for a family that's rarely home. She's taught herself English by watching dinosaur cartoons with Sophie, picking up words like stegosaurus and paleontologist. Anna's got a warmth that could melt a glacier, but to David and Emily, she's invisible, just the person who makes sure the fridge is stocked and Sophie's fed. Her bond with Sophie started early. When Sophie was 2, she fell in the garden, scraping her knee. Anna scooped her up, singing a silly song about a dancing T-Rex to stop her tears. From then on, Sophie adored her. Anna knows Sophie's favorite dinosaur, a purple triceratops named Trike, her fear of the dark, and how she likes her glitter paint organized by color. When Sophie's sick, Anna's the one who sits by her bed, holding her hand, telling stories about her village where kids chase fireflies and eat mangoes under the stars. To Sophie, Anna's not the help, she's family. Here's the heart of it: David and Emily are missing Sophie's cries for help. She's not just sick, she's fading, and nobody's piecing it together. Her fevers, aches, and tiredness aren't random, but the doctors are stumped, and her parents are too busy to dig deeper. A 2024 Child Mind Institute study says 18% of kids ages 3 to 6 show signs of chronic illness that parents miss due to work demands. Sophie's not throwing tantrums or acting out, she's wilting, and only Anna sees it. This isn't just about Sophie's illness. It's about how we overlook the people closest to us when we're caught up in our own grind. David's building a tech empire, Emily's funding the next unicorn startup, but they're missing their daughter's struggle. And Anna? She's seeing it all, but she's just the maid. A 2022 American Journal of Public Health study says low-wage workers like Anna are often dismissed when they share concerns, even when they're spot on. The challenge is huge: how do you stay connected to your kids when life's a tornado? And how do you listen to the invisible people who might see what you're missing? Let's unpack this. David's world is all about innovation, cloud platforms, AI integrations, billion-dollar deals. Kessler Innovations employs 12,000 people and has a valuation of $40 billion. David's on the cover of Fast Company, but he's also on his phone 20 hours a day, coding, pitching, or troubleshooting server crashes. A 2024 Harvard Business Review study found that 72% of tech CEOs feel trapped by their success, wanting to slow down but fearing they'll lose their edge. David's one of them, running on fumes but unable to stop. Emily's in the same race. Her venture capital firm, Horizon Ventures, has funded 50 startups, 3 of which went public in 2024. She's scouting deals, meeting founders, or flying to conferences. She loves Sophie, but she's barely home. A 2023 Venture Capital Journal study says 60% of VCs report strained family relationships due to work. Emily feels the guilt, but her latest deal, a $500 million AI startup, is her focus. Sophie's caught in the crossfire. Her days are packed: school, ballet, art classes, tutors. She's got everything a kid could want: a room full of toys, a tablet with every app, a bike with sparkly streamers. But what she really wants is her parents. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 62% of kids with busy parents feel emotionally disconnected, leading to anxiety or low energy. Sophie's not just sick, she's lonely. One night, Anna's tidying Sophie's room when she hears her coughing, a weak, raspy sound that doesn't feel right. Sophie's burning up, her forehead hot, her little body shaking under the covers. Anna stays with her, sitting on the floor by her bed, holding her hand. She's noticed Sophie's symptoms getting worse: fevers at night, aches in her legs, a rash that comes and goes. Anna's no doctor, but she's seen sick kids in her village, where medicine was scarce, and families had to trust their instincts. Something's off, and it's not just a virus. Anna starts keeping track. She scribbles notes in a notebook: Sophie's fevers spike after meals, her rash appears after playing in the garden, she's always tired after being in her playroom. Anna's gut tells her it's not random. She remembers a cousin in El Salvador who got sick from something in the water: fevers, rashes, tiredness, just like Sophie. It wasn't a virus, it was a reaction to something in the environment. Anna searches on her phone late at night, typing "child fever rash tired" in broken English. She finds a 2023 CDC article about environmental allergies, saying exposure to certain plants or chemicals can cause symptoms like Sophie's, especially in kids with sensitive immune systems. The Kessler's garden has a new section, exotic plants David imported for a landscaping project. The playroom's got new paint, too, a fancy eco-brand Emily picked. Anna wonders if one of these is the culprit. A 2024 Environmental Health Perspective study says 12% of kids develop allergic reactions to environmental triggers like plants or volatile organic compounds in paint, mimicking chronic illnesses. But Anna's scared to speak up. She's just the maid, and the Kesslers barely notice her. A 2025 National Domestic Workers Alliance report says 65% of domestic workers fear retaliation for raising concerns about their employers' households. Anna's visa depends on this job, and Matteo needs her income. But Sophie's little hand in hers keeps her awake, she can't stay quiet. Anna tries to be subtle. One morning, while serving Emily breakfast, she says, "Sophie's rash gets worse after the garden. Maybe check it?" Emily nods, distracted by a pitch deck, and forgets. David's no better, he's on a call with Beijing, promising to follow up but never does. Anna's frustrated but keeps trying. She leaves a note on Sophie's nightstand, "You're strong like a T-Rex. Tell mommy or daddy if you feel bad." Sophie sees it, giggles, but doesn't say anything, she's too young to understand. Weeks pass, and Sophie's getting worse. Her fevers hit 102 degrees Fahrenheit nightly, her weight's down to 35 pounds, and she's too tired to paint. Anna's worried she's slipping away. One night, she finds David in his home office, staring at a laptop. Her hands shake, but she says it, "Mr. Kessler, Sophie's sick from something here, maybe the garden plants or the playroom paint. I saw it in my village. Please check." David looks up, startled. He's about to dismiss her. Anna's no doctor, but her eyes are fierce, her voice steady. He's out of answers, so he agrees to call someone, more to ease his guilt than because he believes her. David hires an environmental specialist the next day, expecting nothing. The specialist tests the garden and playroom, focusing on the new plants and paint. Results come back. The garden's exotic plants, imported from Southeast Asia, release a rare pollen that triggers severe allergic reactions in some kids. The playroom's eco-paint, despite its green label, contains a chemical that off-gases, worsening Sophie's symptoms. A 2024 CDC report says environmental allergies can cause fever, rashes, and fatigue in kids, often misdiagnosed as viral infections. Anna was right. The Kesslers act fast. They rip out the plants, replacing them with native species. The playroom's repainted with non-toxic paint, and an air purifier's added. Sophie starts allergy meds, prescribed by a stunned allergist who admits they missed the environmental angle. Within days, Sophie's fever drops. Her rash fades, her energy creeps back. 2 weeks later, she's painting glittery T-Rexes again, giggling in the garden. A 2023 pediatric study says early intervention in environmental allergies can reverse symptoms in 80% of cases. Sophie's proof. David and Emily are floored. They sit Anna down, tears in their eyes, and thank her. Emily hugs her, sobbing, "You saved our girl." David, usually stoic, chokes up, "We didn't see it." "You did." Anna's crying too, not used to being seen like this. She didn't do it for praise, she did it because Sophie's giggles are her sunshine. The doctors are shaken, one says, "We should have checked the environment first." Anna, with no degree, saw what experts missed. This moment changes everything. The Kesslers see Anna differently, not as the help, but as family. They learn her story, Matteo, her sacrifices, her nursing dreams. David raises her salary to $65,000 and offers to fund Matteo's education in El Salvador. Anna's overwhelmed, she's never been valued like this. A 2025 Journal of Social Issues study says recognizing low-wage workers' contributions can boost their well-being by 45%. Anna's living proof. The Kesslers don't stop there. David sets a no-work rule after 5 p.m., eating dinner with Sophie and Emily, talking about dinosaurs or school. Emily scales back her deals, joining Sophie for art classes where they paint T-Rexes together. They start family therapy, learning to spot Sophie's signals, her tired eyes, her quiet moments. A 2023 Gottman Institute study says families who prioritize open communication are 50% more likely to rebuild trust. It's not perfect, there are still late nights, but it's progress. Sophie's bouncing back. She's back at school, painting and giggling, her weight up to 40 pounds. Anna's still there, making dinosaur pancakes and cheering at Sophie's ballet recitals. She's enrolled in a nursing program, funded by the Kesslers, dreaming of a clinic in her village. Matteo visits every summer, running through the garden with Sophie, their laughter like music. The Kesslers aren't perfect, they slip into old habits, but they're trying. They're showing up. Let's zoom out. This story isn't just about Sophie or Anna, it's about the people we ignore. The nanny who knows your kids' fears, the gardener who sees their tears, the teacher who notices they're off. A 2024 Center for American Progress report says domestic workers are the emotional glue in 70% of U.S. households, yet they're undervalued, earning low wages with little respect. There are 2.5 million domestic workers in the U.S., 85% women, many immigrants like Anna. They see our kids grow, notice the cracks in our lives, but we rarely listen, until something breaks. This goes beyond maids. Think about the invisible people in your life, the cashier who knows your coffee order, the janitor who cleans your office, the bus driver who gets you home. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of Americans feel disconnected from their communities because they're too focused on their own grind. Anna's story is a reminder, these people aren't just background noise. They're seeing truths we miss, holding our world together. So, what can we take from this? First, watch your kids closely. Sophie's fevers weren't just a virus, they were a signal something was wrong. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says kids show distress through small signs, tiredness, withdrawal, changes in play. Don't wait for them to scream for help, look for the quiet clues. Second, listen to the nobodies. Anna had no medical training, but her instincts trumped the experts. A 2024 Journal of Applied Psychology study says diverse perspectives, like those from low-wage workers, often lead to breakthroughs because they see what insiders miss. Third, slow down. David and Emily were racing through life, building empires but missing their daughter. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey says 65% of parents feel they don't have enough time with their kids, leading to weaker bonds. Take a page from the Kesslers, put the phone down, skip the late call, be there. The small moments, pancakes, paintings, hugs, are what make a family. Anna's courage doesn't just save Sophie, it sparks change everywhere. The Kesslers' nanny, Maria, starts a support group for domestic workers, inspired by Anna's bravery. Their gardener, Juan, pushes for safer pesticides in the neighborhood, citing Sophie's allergies. David funds a 2025 initiative to test homes for environmental toxins, naming Anna as the inspiration. A 2024 Social Work Today study says one person's act of courage can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act. Anna's proof, her quiet note changed a family, a community, a mindset. Anna's life is changing, too. She's halfway through her nursing program, acing her classes and dreaming of a clinic in El Salvador. Matteo visits every summer, chasing Sophie through the garden, their laughter blending with the wind. Sophie's thriving, her glittery T-Rexes covering the fridge. The Kesslers are rebuilding, one hug, one dinner, one day at a time. They're not perfect, David still checks emails, Emily takes late calls, but they're present. They're listening. What's the big lesson? The people we love can be hurting, and we might miss it if we're too busy. Sophie was fading, but David and Emily were blind until Anna spoke up. And the invisible people, like Anna, the maid sleeping on the floor, might see the truths we're too distracted to notice. Don't wait for a crisis to listen. Who's the Anna in your life? The teacher who knows your kids' quirks? The neighbor who checks in? A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of us feel disconnected because we're chasing our own goals. Slow down, look up, listen. Sophie's back to her old self, painting dinosaurs and roaring in the garden. Anna's studying, dreaming of her clinic, hugging Matteo in her heart until she can in person. The Kesslers are a work in progress, but they're showing up, one glittery painting, one dinosaur pancake, one day at a time. It all started because a maid slept on the floor with a sick child and dared to speak up when nobody else would. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and see the world differently.